Caulfield Cup. Okay, and that's an 18-horse field, but I mean, not a lot of extra detail to go in for some of these runners because it is a very underwhelming Caulfield Cup this year. That's for sure, I'd have to say, mate.
Yeah, no, it's definitely disappointing, as we said before, but yeah, look, we'll get through it. It's not going to be as hyped as it. We probably should have left the Everest for last, but that's okay. Do we want to get straight into it, mate?
Yeah, I'll quickly take you through some stats before you go through the field. If it just loads for me here. 5 of the last 18 winners were favourites. 8 of the past 16 winners started from barriers 10 or wider. Only 5 winners of the last 30 editions have been female horses. Of the last 16 editions, 5 winners were international imports. And I'm talking about horses that rocked up from Europe, not horses that came from Europe then stayed in Australia. And then 11 of the last 22 winners carried 55 kilos or more. When it comes to the speed map, you've got Plymouth, Banker's Choice, and the Chautauqua Silks likely to be your leaders, with Land Legend probably riding those tails, as well as River of Stars to push up from the 4th barrier. And then the rest of them will probably just sort of slot in. You don't really know what the internationals are going to do. Your Valiant King and Half Yours of the world will probably be sitting towards the back. Your Deacons and Adelaide Rivers will probably be sitting more forward, but the rest of them are just going to slot in, find their spots and make up the midfield and wait till the latter stages to really show themselves. But mate, if you want to take us through the field in depth, show us who's racing.
So we get split into 2. So you got Vauban up first. You got Presage Nocturne.
Yep.
You got Middle Earth, Meydaan, Absurde, Land Legend, Zardozi, Adelaide River, and Banker's Choice. And then second page, you got Deakin, Golden Snap, Revelare, River of Stars, Birdman, Half Yours, Royal Supremacy, Valiant King, and Plymouth.
Yes, 18-horse field for the Caulfield Cup this year. Again, like always, you would have seen it on your screen, guys. If you want to download Double, you can use code MOCKSPORTS when signing up to let them know we sent you, but make sure to imagine what you could be buying instead and set a deposit limit when doing so. I mean, let's go through the field, mate. If you want to click on number 1 there, Vauban. Blake Shin rides for Gay Waterhouse and Bott, 58 kilos he carries, which obviously you didn't hear me say the weights for the last horses, but it's a bit more relevant in a stayers race here for the Cup. Out of barrier 13, $12 to win, $3.40 to place. Pretender or contender?
Contender for me. Look, we have him on Fraud Watch, I know that, but he's got a chance in this one. I think he's settled. He's doing all right. His run last start really helped, so contender for me. Vauban.
Look, closed off well in the Metropolitan to grab 5th after was just a disgustingly bad run first up. He's been the big boom horse for the Cups last 3 years running, 3 years including this year. Last year and the year before, he was the unbeatable horse that ran like shit both times. I just think he's absolutely cast. There's some hurdle races for him next year at Warrnambool that'll probably be his style. I reckon he's that far gone, in my opinion. Now that I've said that, he'll kill them and he'll win this by lengths and I'll look really, really silly. But yeah, Pretender for me, Vauban. As we move to number 2, Presage Nocturne. I want to try and pronounce this correctly here. It's going to be tough here with these European horses. Stefan Pasquier, I believe, trained by Alessandro Botti. All right, mate, if you want to get the graphic up. For me personally, out of barrier 8, $27 to win, $5.75 to place. Can never write the internationals off here, and despite being way more suited to the Melbourne Cup, you'd have to think he could win here without surprise if he flexed his staying muscles. European jockey has followed him over here, so they must think he has some chance there with Presage Nocturne. Off you go.
Pretender.
Oh.
Yeah, don't know. Not the best for me. But yeah, look, this Caulfield Cup, I must say, is the weakest I've seen in a long time as well.
Probably the weakest we've ever covered.
For sure. But yeah, overseas horse is going to do it decent. Is it looking to go to the Cup?
If it runs well here, it's going to press on.
Yeah. No for me, though. $34. It's going to be up there. But yeah, Pretender.
Middle Earth, number 3 here. Mark Zara to ride for Kieran Maher. 56.5 kilos. Barrier 3. $16 to win. $3.75 to place.
Yeah, Pretender. I think there's just better horses in this race. If you want some value, it's there. It's been pretty ordinary this kind of prep. It's got decent form, I guess, if you want to go behind Sir Delius, but it's a long way behind him. So for me, Middle Earth is a pretender.
If you're, lightly saying contender here, as Kieran Maher has set him specifically for this race, and it's his grand final, whereas others are using this as a run towards the big one in November. Zara is riding and he doesn't waste his cup chances, so he must be confident. If it wins, wouldn't shock me, but he's the cutoff here. As we move to number 4, mate, if you want to get the graphic up, Meydaan.
Sorry, I didn't do the Middle Earth one. My bad.
Again here, Andre Atzani rides for Simon E. Crisford. It's into $7.50 to win and $2.50 to place. 56 kilos out of barrier 5. What are your thoughts?
Contender, one of the better Euro horses coming over. $7.50 is probably a price where it makes sense. They just do it a lot better over in the UK and over in Europe. So definite contender. Should run really well and should be fit.
Best of the internationals in this one has looked an absolute tank without winning in a lot of his most recent races. Suited more in this one than a Melbourne Cup. Apparently Camp are very confident with his chances here, as am I. He's drawn to get a great spot, tuck away, bide his time, flex his muscles late. Same trainers that Without a Fight had before Without a Fight came and stayed in here, and then we saw what he could do a year later under the watchful eyes of the Freedmans. So, I mean, we know that this team is able to produce a good stayer before obviously handing it off to the Aussies where we just do it better, apparently. But just needs it to be as dry as possible, which they should be getting on the weekend. Not much rain about in Melbourne. Meydaan is a contender for me as we move to another international, number 5, Absurde. Ben Allen writes, Mullins trains, 55 kilos out of barrier 1, 27 to win, $6 to place.
Pretender for me, only think it looking for a little bit longer. It's going to probably head to a cup, if it can get there, of course. But looks just to be a bit short for Absurde. Other than that, if you want to go for it, by all means, it's fit and it's a good horse. I just think it peaks over the 2,800.
Yeah, decent horse, 5th in the Melbourne Cup last year, but with good reason. He's more suited to 3,200 than he is 2,400, especially at 55.5 kilos here. I think he's weighted out of this one. He's distanced out of this one. He runs well, could grab a placing, but I'm going to wait off till the Melbourne Cup, in my opinion, with him.
Nice.
Move to number 6, mate. Jamie Mott rides Land Legend for Chris Waller, 55.5 kilos out of barrier 15, 23 to win, 5 to place.
This horse is it's just settling for a cup prep, but honestly it's a pretender for me. It's been a pretender for a while. It just can't get it done. I don't know what's going on, so won't get it done in my opinion. If it does, I'll be really, really surprised.
Yeah, you're right. Came to the country with a lot of promise and just hasn't delivered, apart from that St. Ledger win on debut and then the Group 1 Metropolitan last year. But that was another one where he just sort of popped up and won out of nowhere, and then continues to just pop up and have flashing runs. But he could pop up and win here. I just don't think he does. We know he gets the distance, but I think he's just going to spend too much petrol from that barrier to find a spot. Could close off for a nice placing, but cannot see him winning as we move to number 7, Zardozi. One of our old favourites, mate. Coffee rides, Mayer trains, 54.5 kilos, 11th barrier, 23 to win, $5 to place.
Contender. Look, I can't rule her out, I think, because if she comes out and she wins, I'll be kicking myself. $23 is a price you can have. Look, I think we all expected her to be a lot better this spring. But yeah, not the best start to what we've seen so far, but look, can bounce back well, and at that price, I'd be kicking myself if I didn't say something.
I've just got to say pretender here. It's the sort of horse you know is going to pop up and win a race eventually. I just don't think it's this one. I'll hate to miss her, but I'm happy to let her go around me without me this time. I'm glad you've covered her, though. Number 8, we move to Adelaide River. Child's Rise for the Chris Lees camp. 54 kilos, 9th barrier, 23 to win, $5 to place. Contender or pretender, mate?
Look, I'm going to go contender only for the form behind Sir Delius. It's not too far behind, 3 lengths in its last start. Has won at the distance before as well. Wouldn't say it's one of my top chances, but it is a contender in my opinion. Yeah,
the former Irish horse here, so you know he will stay the distance, as the Irish always really do. Lees has been known to train a couple of good European imports in his time, just never well enough to win a race like this. Has some ripping form behind some of the hottest horses in the country at the moment, like you said, including Sir Delius, who would quite frankly smash this lot if he was here. I'm happy to have him in my numbers as a contender. As we move to number 9 here, Banker's Choice. Egan rides for the Hayes boys, 54 kilos, 14th barrier, 100 to 1. Contender or pretender?
Pretender. Do we need to go on?
I'm going to go on. I know someone watching is going to be really happy to hear this, but call me crazy. Honestly, not the worst $100 shot you'll ever hear in a race like this. Form on paper isn't amazing, but he's a distance specialist. Dropped 6 kilos off his Mornington Cup run behind Whiskey on the Hill, who arguably would be starting less than $10 in a race like this off his run last week. Then throw in the fact he's only 4 lengths off Revelare, who he now meets 6 kilos better. Throw in the fact he's coming off a Queensland winter, which has produced plenty of Caulfield Cup winners. I genuinely wouldn't be shocked to see him get up at 100 to 1. Do I think he gets up? Leaning more towards the no side, but I cannot rule him out. He is definitely not the worst $100 shot I've ever seen. Contender.
Fair enough.
Number 10, mate, Deakin, Stackhouse, Stokes, combo, 54 kilos, 7th barrier, 20 to 1.
Contender, and I know people will be happy to hear that. Same form line behind Sir Delius for me. But yeah, it looks like it hasn't really hit very nicely this prep either, but can get it done and has shown in the past that it can win. So
same reason I have Adelaide River as a contender here. Gets the distance, has ripping form behind similar horses. One of the better value chances you'd have to think will look in it for a long way. As we move to number 11, Golden Snap. Again, I'm going to try my best to pronounce this. Hamanaka rides and Tanaka trains. 53.5 kilos, 18th barrier, the widest barrier, $23 to win, $5.35 to place. Contender or contender?
Would have been a contender if the barrier didn't absolutely put it on in the worst bit of the track, so it's going to be a pretender for me.
I'm going contender just because you never disrespect the Japanese. Warp speed went no good here last year.
Saying I am?
The warp speed went no good in this race last year, then almost won the Melbourne Cup. This big Japanese grey comes over here with an ideal setup, loves the distance, loves the conditions. Only negative, like you said, is the barrier. Has the ability to overcome it, though, in a pretty weak edition of this race. Like, a few others I've said no because of the barrier, even though she's wider than them. I think she does have the ability to overcome it. Is probably better suited to a Melbourne Cup, you'd think, but I definitely don't want to leave her out just in case she beats them. Number 12, Revelare. Curry rides for the Hickmott camp. He's the people's horse. He's the battler's horse. Out of barrier 12, 53.5 kilos, 21 to win. Contender or pretender, mate?
Revelare, surely. Surely it's Revelare.
Take your pick.
Revelare.
Take your pick.
Come on, guys.
I've heard commentators say both.
Yeah, Revelare for me. Yeah, look. Contender, one of the better chances, I think. I like it a lot, and it's one that I hope we include in the quaddie, which we did include a couple more in this quaddie. But yeah, won nicely, 2 in a row last start, before the last run, I'm sorry. But yeah, was winning nicely, can get it done, can get the distance as well.
Battler of the bunch, man. I reckon he's the best pure Aussie chance of the Cups this season. Just an honest horse. He's the ice bath of the stays. You just know what you're going to get every time. You're going to get a great run.
Is he an Aussie horse?
Yeah, pure Aussie.
He's Siren Dam's in New Zealand, so I wasn't sure if he was a... Fair enough.
Close enough. He's going to look dangerous for a long time. When he starts his run, you're sure to hear a lot of cheers in the crowd because you'd think a lot of them are going to be on him at a big price too. He's in my numbers for sure. Revelare, take your pick. As we move to number 13 there, mate. River of Stars. Bo Mertens is going to ride for Chris Waller out of barrier 4, 100 to 1. Yeah, this is a 100 to 1 shot that I think is that for good reason. Only in it for the pace, no chance to win in my opinion. As you can, just as quickly as it came up, you can get that graphic off to Birdman. Nugent is going to ride for Waller here, 52.5 kilos out of barrier 10, 17 to 1. Thoughts?
Yeah, look, probably a contender in my eyes. I think won nicely at the 2000, stepped up to the 2400 pretty quickly. Didn't seem to like it as much against a pretty weak field. However, I think it's only going to take fitness out of that run. It's got a low weight. Should be there or thereabouts. I'm going to give it a contender chance.
I've got a contender as well because of very similar reasons with Adelaide River and Deakin. Just, hasn't put much of a foot wrong this spring, has form lines behind some very good horses. Sir Delius is one of them. Royal Supremacy is another one. He's also beaten Adelaide River. So can win without shock, in my opinion, that's for sure. As we finally get down to number 15 here, half yours, mate. The field favourite. Jamie Mellum rides for the McAvoy camp, if you want to get the graphic up. 52.5 kilos. Barrier 2. $2.80 favourite, like I said. What are your thoughts on this one? I think this is an interesting horse.
A lot of my mates have kind of tried to spook this to me like it wasn't already a favourite. Fourth place behind Sir Delius. Before that was running absolutely tops. So it's always going to be hard to win a Caulfield Cup. And not always the best horse is going to win this race because you're going to have to get a bit of luck on your side as well with the big field. It's going to be tough. I just don't think $2.80 is a price I can have, personally. Contender, but I can't be betting my money into there, but will not be leaving out of the exotics for sure.
I'm going to say it's a false favourite. I'm going to say Pretender here.
Wow.
I think, hasn't done a lot of wrong this prep, considering he started his career in some seriously weak benchmark 78s. It doesn't scream Group 1 winner, but I mean, you could say the same about Revelare, I guess. Jamie Mellum, though, is in terrible form as a jockey. With the big field and high pressure from the second barrier, she could end up getting it blocked off. She could end up getting it shuffled back.
She's in the chat before.
Yes, sure she was. Form's been great. Can certainly be in the finish, but I have a really strong feeling it goes under. Could even just come second. I just don't see it winning. It's a Pretender for me. I've just got that weird feeling that it's going to go pop and there's going to be a lot of angry punters that had a lot of money on it and it just gets pipped going past the line. Like kind of like how you said, Solcombe's going to come second in the Melbourne Cup. You got that. You're going to say Incentivize is going to come second. The Boom I just think the Boom favourite's going to come under and go under and come second in this race.
Fair enough, mate. We'll move to number 16, Royal Supremacy at $9. I think this is definitely unders as well. Definitely a contender because the last 4 starts have been outstanding. Can get the distance, has got the distance. One last start at the distance. But look, is it $9? What horses is it really beaten? I don't know. I get another one that I can't be betting head on. $9 is a better price to be betting head on. I would want to see this horse starting at 15 to 16s to get onto it personally and be like, that's a really good price to have it at. But it is a contender in my eyes.
It is a contender in my eyes. I just think the price reflects the quality of the field.
Yeah, fair enough.
This year. Gets the trip no problem. Won the Metropolitan Group 1, so obviously is coming off the back of some really good form. I followed this horse like glue until he got to the big stage and I jumped off, so I was really annoyed there. I won't be missing him here. Also has Robbie Dolan, which he's becoming, credit to him, one of the better stay jockeys here. Maybe it's the Irish blood in him because that's all they do over there. So yeah, definitely a contender in my eyes as we move through the last couple in the field that I don't think we'll have a lot to talk about. If you get number 17 up, mate, Valiant King. McNeil rides for Waller at $19. I can't believe it's $19 personally out of the 16th barrier. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't believe it either. I think it's a pretender for me. Outside barrier as well. Can't believe it won last start at Yonks. I think it was like $80 or something. Yeah, like crazy. So don't think he can get it done here. But look, seen worse things happen.
Good win. Don't think he'll repeat it. And he's much more suited to a Melbourne Cup than he is a Caulfield Cup.
For sure.
And Plymouth, mate, finishes us off number 18 for Celine Gaudray. The Hayes boys trains this one as well at 51 kilos, carrying feathers on the back out of 17th barrier, 61 to win, 11 to place, contender or pretender.
Pretender.
For the placings, maybe, but won't be winning. Week back up and a big jump in grade is not a setup I like going into the Cups. I know some people really like those week backups or even Derby Day into Cup Day runs. I just don't. I really don't like it. So, pretender for me with Plymouth.
All right, mate.
All right, we've heard who you think can win. Who is going to win?
I'm going Vauban. $11 is a price that I can have. I just think his run last start didn't fault him. He's definitely a fraud watch, and if he doesn't perform well here to a decent thing, we can cross him out. That's for sure. But look, they brought him over here with high expectations to win one of these big races. He stayed in Australia now. He's got no excuses. He's acclimatized. He's lived here. He knows what he's doing. I think he's a bit of a forgotten about horse about what he can do at his best, and I think he'll get it done.
Fair enough. I'm on Meydaan. Just the best of the internationals. Gives me without a fight vibes. I've got on him for the Cups double because of what happened with without a fight. I'm never ever not putting my Caulfield Cup tip not on for the Cups double. Paying 300 to 1.
Wow.
So I mean, I'll gladly take the $3,000 payout from the tenner I chucked on that. Do I think he wins the Melbourne Cup? No, because he is much more suited to a Caulfield Cup. But I mean, I think he wins here. I can't miss out just in case. My top four would be Meydaan, half yours to come second, but not win. Middle Earth to come third, and then Revelare fourth. But I mean, you could play a bunch more in there and box them all up. Anything can probably come fourth in this race. What's your top four?
Top four, I'll go Vauban. I'll go half yours. I'll go Revelare and Zardozi.
Zardozi. We got to love it. You can't leave her out of your numbers, can you?
Love you, Zard.